That's how I felt when I first saw the new episode.
The new episode of Ahsoka. Oh, okay. Okay, so for context, I feel like on Instagram and social media, we are just now the Ahsoka channel.
Yeah.
Because every time we post, it's just about that. And it's just...
Fly.
You clapped and he went, wee. Because if you look at our social media, it's just posting about Ahsoka and it's like 128K, 18K, 4K. Why are you guys so mad about Ahsoka? If you look at the YouTube, the views, Ahsoka review, 100, 200, 300. I guess people like what we have to say. Or they fucking hate it. Which means they're going to
look away. But
no, you can't.
This time, I have a different take.
My opinion is so in line with everything I've said thus far. This episode was perfect.
No.
Really? Really?
The first half was perfect. The second half was just regular Ahsoka show.
Oh, yes. So it's kind of like the episode is in two parts. There's Ahsoka with Anakin.
Yeah.
And then there's everything else.
Yes. And everything else is whatever.
Slow and annoying.
Yeah.
But you know that in terms of the storytelling, you can't just be like, oh, Anakin, all the fucking time. You have to have points to break it up so that way it seems more epic.
You're right. The space whales are needed in every episode.
The space whales is a callback to Rebels, and you need to fucking relax.
Fucking
Those
whale,
fucking
man.
whales didn't do anything to you.
Fucking
okay?
whale.
Leave it alone. It's a space whale that can travel at light speed.
You talk to that whale. Where are we going? I don't fucking know, man. It's a whale.
So let's get down to brass tacks. Okay, first of all, spoilers, 100%.
Absolutely.
Rex, clearly CG.
Yes.
Little disappointing.
Love how he was there without his helmet, and they're like, throw a bandage on that head. I don't need to de-age
That
this
wasn't
man.
Rex.
Well, I mean, it was a clone. Like, it was supposed to be that
100%.
guy, and like...
You know, because it's clearly like the actors, I guess... My thought process is they were like, we want you to come back, but this is like the peak of the clone, so you need to be like de-aged and in great shape. And he's like, you guys fucked me over already.
Yeah.
On Book of Boba. I'm not doing that.
Before we get into all the good shit, I just want to say the one thing that I didn't like about all of it was the fact that they were clearly in a volume surrounded by fog machines because they didn't feel like spending money on doing the background stuff. And though there was little snippets of it and it did make it cool because the lightsabers popped, I would have loved to see the Siege of Mandalore as it should have been.
As it was, yes. Yeah. I agree with you entirely. I also disagree because I think when you're thinking about the fog and you're thinking about the volume and the budget, it takes you out of it completely.
Yes.
If you just let your head be in the story, the fog, awesome. Dramatic as shit.
It makes the lightsabers
I keep seeing
pop.
people say, right, that it's the greatest shot in Star Wars history. I wouldn't go that far, but I'd be pretty fucking close.
Pretty fucking good.
Of Anakin walking into the fight on, I guess, wherever the fuck they were.
And it just flashes.
And it flashes Vader.
Oh, my God.
Listen, okay? Those 2 seconds...
Beautiful.
Everything we... And see, this is what I was saying before. Fan service, at a certain point, is obnoxious and unnecessary. If used correctly, it's perfect. If it benefits the story, it makes sense.
You know how I watched the rest of Ahsoka?
How?
You know how I watched this episode? Holy shit.
Yes. Dude, I'm laying in bed. I'm watching it on my phone. Because Timmy has said in the last episode of the podcast she hates it. She's done.
Okay.
She won't even watch it, even if it is cool, because she finds it obnoxious.
Yes.
So I'm sitting in bed, and I'm watching it on my phone. And I got my AirPods in, and Timmy's, like, getting ready for bed. She's, like, feeding the animals, and I'm going, oh, my God. I was like, that's so... Are they going to give him... The armor looks stupid, but it's so good!
Okay, so I had no idea, never made the connection that in the Clone Wars, he's wearing Darth Vader's chest piece as his shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And that is so cool
It's really
I'm
cool.
finally seeing that in live person. Also, I really need to throw this out there. Hayden Christensen can still rock the absolute fucking shit out of a lightsaber.
He can.
He is moving that thing with purpose, and it is awesome.
I have a theory. I don't think it's Disney's bad at lightsaber fights. I think
they're hiring actors who don't know how to fight.
Somebody is deliberately trying to segregate the points in the Star Wars universe of lightsaber fights based on the choreography. I think it is deliberately... The original trilogy looks like this. The sequel trilogies, everything's like a fucking heavy hammer, and the prequels are crazy spinning. Because Ahsoka, in the beginning of the show, is just like the two blades, but she's like bang, and they're super heavy and whatever. But the minute that Anakin shows up, it's not like, oh, the choreography's bad. It's, I'm going to do my twirls and shit. I'm going to do this. And even young Ahsoka, with the two blades, is still moving around,
good.
and it's so good.
She did so much better than Rosario Dawson.
I know.
I'm going to catch so much shit for that, but I don't give a fuck.
It's
She
accurate.
was awesome.
100%.
Also, you know
Oh my
that's
God.
young Gamora and the girl from Barbie?
Yes. That blew my mind. I was
is
like,
going all out
that's
this
a
year.
very particular character set to have.
Yeah.
But it's a good one to have.
Like, I saw her and I'm like, why does she... That
Yeah.
looks good. And then, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
but she looks there was one scene where she was supposed to be. I actually think they de-aged her when she first showed up because she looked really young.
Yeah.
But then in the later scenes, in the other parts of the Clone Wars, where Anakin also has the longer hair and everything, and the scar,
The Siege of Mandalore.
she looks a bit older.
Yeah.
And she actually looks closer to Rosario Dawson. So I don't know if they did some weird
No,
tweaks.
I wouldn't go that far.
Not genuinely, but I think they may have done some slight tweaks or overhaul to her face, kind of like what they did with Ewan McGregor and the original Obi-Wan Kenobi, where they just did some slight things
a little bit of makeup and things, and he looks like a child.
So, like,
Yeah.
I think they did some of that, because, like, it wasn't all the time, but she did a weird angle. I'm like, why does that actually look like Rosario Dawson? Like, that they did
I think
they did a great job.
with this young Ahsoka. It really, everybody's been saying the same. This one fly is just teasing us. I've watched him. He goes out and then he comes back. You piece of shit.
Come on.
I can't help it. It really puts into perspective how young Ahsoka was at the end. And it entirely explains why she is the way that she is now. Because now she's like 45, 50.
Yeah.
And the whole, like, first 15 years of her life, chaos and murder. Then the original trilogy happens. An empire. Then you're post episode 6, and it's like, okay, so my master was the bad guy. Now I'm hanging out with his son. Some of the Jedi still exist, but now they're like, we want it to come back because we like the blue guy. And she's like, man, I'm too old for this shit. It makes total sense, and I get it.
Yeah, but she's just, because she's so broken, she's got a bit of a lack of personality now, and it's just kind of like, and I'm like, that's not enough.
Stop doing that.
Just come on. You cross your arms one more time and just do a fucking Jim smirk at a camera. It was so.
Let's
and then
be
you
honest.
saw on the Siege of Mandalore the Mandalorians with
Vizsla?
the fucking Darth Maul helmet on.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get him. I thought we were gonna get him
man.
running around with robot legs, and we were finally gonna get that version. And I was so excited, and it didn't happen. But like, what we did get was great. And when they're fighting, and they're like right here and everything. I remember there was one point when they were doing it, and she's like this, and he's leaning on her, and she's putting the force here with her hand to try and keep the blade. I'm like, just grab it. I'm like, it's a lightsaber. It's not a sword.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. But like, it was.
I have two
his
things to say.
eyes. When the
contacts?
lightsaber was there,
It was the contacts. It was the red contacts.
I don't think they did.
No, they did. Because then there was also a clear cut from him being like, I'm going to close my eyes. And then it's a cut to her, and then a cut back to him, and he's like, my eyes are blue now.
Okay, yes, but it was also they pulled away the red lightsaber from him because she also kind of had that because it was like a temptation moment.
100%.
And
Two things to say. The best and worst parts about that, because Rotten Tomatoes, 89%.
Yeah.
Deserves to be higher. Okay.
But the second half.
The worst part is Ahsoka fighting Anakin single blade. I understand that the whole point is like you want to dumb down some of her choreography to show off Hayden Christensen. It's more about the two of them and like the emotional battle that's going on, not her jumping around.
Yeah.
Want to dual lightsaber. She is not a single person, two-hand thing. But I get it. The best part?
I thought that for like a half a second, and then I just moved on because it was so cool.
100%. Hayden Christensen? I understand that they had to throw it in, because that's a little bit of fan service, where Ewan McGregor's like, yeah, it's the Anakin spin. He learned it during the prequels. And then it's just a random cut of like Hera being like, where's Ahsoka? And then it cuts, and he's like...
So good.
But it's so fluid. Okay, I understand. He's like a 50-year-old man. Okay, they de-aged him. He doesn't look like that anymore. When he's trying to play even younger Anakin in the armor, he looks fucking ridiculous in certain shots. But man, Disney, if you could do one fucking thing right now, one thing.
Give me more Hayden
Give
Christensen.
us more Hayden. Give him to Dave Filoni.
Why do we not just have a Darth Vader film or show where it's just that scene that's like a meme now, but it's like from like a novel or a comic or something, where it's just him on a planet surrounded by people, and they're just
beats the fuck out of all of them.
They're just like, you're surrounded, and he's like, I'm surrounded by nothing but dead men, and then just goes off and murders an army. Give me that.
I think I disagree.
I
would love to see more of it, but I think it makes those specific scenes so much better. Like the fight against Obi-Wan in the end of Obi-Wan could have been much better, but it's fucking great. The scene where he's beating the hell out of Reva and he stabs her even though she lives, and she's like going at him, and he's just like, no. Great. The scene in fucking Rogue One in the hallway, and you're like, here he comes.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like that.
If we had more, it could dumb it down.
That's how it is in the original trilogy. He's in most of it, and guess what? He was still badass then, too.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, but
you remember the fight with Obi-Wan?
Yeah, but like, episode 5, episode 6, and everything, even though they don't have as much graphics
Yes.
and choreography as nowadays,
He's
even
much more
for when that
badass.
came out, he was always just like the dude.
Yeah.
So like that's always been his thing. But those
I just
fucking
want-
just lightning and just
I want them. Where are the gaps that you could really fill in right now? Right,
you don't
with
need a
Hayden?
gap. You don't need a gap.
I-
There's nothing. There really
What if
is.
we had a show of Vader talking to Anakin? The internal struggle. Vader's going to planets. He's like, I'm going to kill all these kids. And Anakin's like,
because it's not there anymore.
I know, he's dead. I get it. Emotionally. Yeah, but I need an excuse for more Hayden, okay? Do you have a better idea?
Yes.
What?
What they're doing. Just give me more.
I really hope that we don't get like 2 episodes down and it's like, actually, I'm not Anakin. I'm this. Blah, blah, blah.
It was clearly just her life flashing before her eyes, and
Yes.
that was her
Yeah.
vision, and that was
Well,
her.
it's the Force, you know?
It was the Force, but it wasn't like because like he wasn't a Force ghost. He wasn't whatever. He wasn't actually there. That was
I'd like to believe he's there. I'd
was-
like to believe it's a Force ghost.
all in her head, and that's why it was I'm here as a mentor, but also you need to decide and blah, because it's like it wasn't that. It was more of a mental
Well,
struggle.
you could still say it's a mental struggle, but the Force can impact her because the Force is inside everybody.
Yes, but it wasn't him in the Force. Like
It was a manifestation of him in her head.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wasn't there because of the Force.
I like to believe he was there.
But like, just that one fucking just flip.
The
man,
one-
It's just burning him out.
You know what nobody's talking about either?
What?
When he's like, we need to start from the beginning. And she's like, no. And he's like, clearly you haven't learned anything. I told you live, and it's red,
Yeah.
or die. And she's like, no. He's like, wrong answer. And then he beats the fuck out of her, and she comes through the smoke, and she's like on the floor. And Anakin just walks through the smoke with the red, and he's like, bitch.
It was so.
His arms are out to, he's got the.
It's the fucking episode 3 walk
Yes.
when he's like
He's got the-
actually unhinged, and he's just like
you lack conviction.
he knows what he needs to do, and he's doing it so fucking well.
I'm so
and what
fucking
I think
proud.
really happened was that he did Obi-Wan and everything, and they're like, nah, man, people love you now. And he's like, I don't know, it's blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they recorded it and everything, and you could see he's happy to be back, and he's
Yes,
doing
he
whatever,
is.
but he's like, this is going to be hard, man. And then he did this stuff, and everyone's like, it's Hayden Christensen! And he's sitting there trying to hold back tears, and now he's like, I'm fucking Anakin, man, let's go!
It took me 20 years, but I'm fucking back, baby. You know what? Low-key disappointed? No Ewan. We had a whole show dedicated to him, but I feel like it wasn't
needed.
enough.
It's not his Padawan, it's not his story.
But it's a flashback to the Clone Wars. I
Yeah,
still
but
want to
half
see
the
him.
time he wasn't fucking there. He was off
I
banging
don't
off some
fucking
chick on
care.
Mandalore.
He was.
Come on.
Yes, he was. He was. I really love the parallel, though, of when Anakin and her are standing next to each other. Clearly, it's just for the literal shot of them being
Yeah.
next to each other. But I love that parallel of him there and then him in the Clone Wars in Season 7. I'm like, damn. Dave Filoni knows what he's doing. This next episode's going to be so fucking disappointing. Because the bar went, huh, huh, huh.
Yeah. So the problem with that is that you cannot come out and go, it's the mid-season finale, man. Like, no, this is not The Walking Dead, where it's a 25 fucking episode season, and we've
Yes.
been waiting 6 months, and you got to do something, and you're taking a hiatus for Christmas.
Yes.
You're coming out with another episode next
Next week.
week. If you're gonna ramp shit up like that, you have to keep it up. You cannot just drop it back down until episode 10.
Ahsoka the
That's
White.
not how it works. What?
Ahsoka the White.
I'm sorry, is she Gandalf? What's happening?
Yeah.
What?
Did you not see her costume change in the end?
No. I did not.
Use your laptop. She's got the gray look on the whole time, and then she comes back and she has the robe on. But then when she goes to leave and she
So
gets
are you
inside
telling
the
me
whale,
she's no longer a Grey Jedi and she's just a Jedi again now?
I'd believe it. That's probably what that whole
Where the
thing meant.
fuck was she in episode 9?
Dead. Remember I told you
No,
last
but her
week she was
voice
poking her
wasn't
head
there.
out.
And my excuse for that was because she wasn't technically a Jedi anymore. So that's why she wasn't there. But if she goes back to being a Jedi, like...
Or she's still alive. What if Rosario Dawson shows up in the episode 10 that they're making with Rey?
No, not that. Just something else I just realized
What?
that I remembered. So you know how I complained that they always had the crown on her because they didn't want to bother blending
They
the
took it off.
headpiece? They did. And it looked fucking weird. I'm like, please put it back on. Please put it back
I
on.
apologize so much. I didn't.
I should not have
The
questioned
minute
you.
they took it off too, I was like, Brendan's gonna fucking hate this. I
I'm
can
like,
just,
what?
I can
Yeah.
see where it
Yeah, I'm
melds
just
into
like,
her
you
head.
guys, I'm proud of you for doing it, but
You
like...
got a lot of balls for just showing off that
is-
makeup
that
like
is
that.
rough.
Is that actually how it would go too? Her head would just change color at a certain point.
It's like a hairline.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's apparently worn all white in Rebels before, so I'm looking at a picture of it. Unless it's just photoshopped, but I'm
No,
not
well
sure.
now it's Gandalf the White. Okay.
Okay, Ahsoka the White.
Ahsoka the white.
Ahsoka the orange.
Sorry. Beer's powerful.
So, I wanted to bring this up, but I forgot about it earlier. You
Yes.
said that the lightsabers, they want to distinguish between each of the trilogies and everything.
Yeah,
because
but choreography.
we're not in a trilogy,
No.
and Ahsoka is from the...
Well, no, I'm not saying a trilogy. I'm saying parts of it.
But she's from the prequel era. And
She
my
is.
only explanation for all of this was that the art form was lost by so many of them dying. The people who still know how to do it are learning from Luke, who
barely
learned
knows.
how to fucking train for like
Yeah.
a week and a half,
Yep.
and then everyone just fucking died. And then he's like, I'm going to train all you guys by reading these books. So obviously it's going to be a little off and it's going
Yeah.
to be a little bit weird. But Ahsoka
That makes a
should
lot
know
more
what
sense.
she's doing.
I agree with you in terms of your reasoning, and it does make a ton of sense. But I think my theory might hold a bit more weight in just Disney thinking that we're stupid.
Well, obviously it's
Yeah,
Disney. That
it's
mouse
Disney World.
knows all.
It does. Speaking of Disney, I think we might be going in April instead of February.
Oh, why?
Because now my dad wants to go.
Ah.
It's a whole thing. Or we'll do both. I don't know. So Ahsoka, episode 5. Out of the 5 episodes, how many good ones have there been? 3?
This one.
Really?
Just this one.
I think it's progressively ramped up the entire time.
Okay,
Each
take out
episode's gotten
Anakin
better.
out of the last 5 seconds of episode 4.
Choreography's great. Fighting is
It
great.
was better.
It's 100%
The
on Rotten
first 3
Tomatoes.
were just, I did not care.
First 2, I think, were mediocre. 3 picked up a bit more. 4 was good. This was great.
Yeah,
The
also,
progression of goodness continues.
I did not watch Rebels.
Nah.
Who is that kid's dad?
Ezra?
His dad's Ezra?
What? What kid are you talking about? The blue hair?
No, green hair. The green woman's child who's
Oh.
just like listening to the waves.
Kanan.
Yes.
Kanan Jarrus. He was a Padawan who survived Order 66 like everybody else.
But they said his dad was a Jedi, and the Jedi are
Yeah.
not allowed to have children, so that doesn't make sense.
I know.
So,
But he was also a Jedi. He was also a Padawan that became a Jedi.
also, if he survived
during the
Order
reign of the
66, he should be 25.
The kid?
Yes. So, who is his dad?
Kanan Jarrus.
Hayden Jarrett. I'm getting hockey players.
Just look up Kanan Star Wars.
Oh, Kanan, not Caden.
No.
Kanan.
He's blind in the end.
That guy.
And then he kills
That's
himself.
his dad.
Yeah.
And his dad's the one who survived Order 66.
Yeah.
Not the kid.
No.
Okay.
Did you think I was talking about the kid?
Yes, that's why I
No.
was confused.
Losing a bit of time there. A little bit of a time gap.
That makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. I hate his blind mask. He looks like a bug.
I love your reasoning. It's so simple, too. I don't like him. He looks like a bug.
And
I would squish him if I could.
like a bug.
Like a bug should be. Swished and dead.